Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to the episode of my F1 2018 career mode, episode number 142 today for the Russian Grand Prix for Season 7. If you guys did miss the Singapore one, the previous episode, then be sure to go check the one out before you see this one uploaded only a day ago, so you might have missed it there. But here we go then, into Sochi, another important one, of course. We made a step forward at Singapore, spoiler alert, getting that win at Singapore ahead of Gasly in second place was a good step forward. We have to try and do it again here at Russia, which might be tricky because Russia, it's a pretty simple strategy, so if you are not leading or you're not kind of in control of the race early on in the race can get away from you, so you're going to have to watch out for that. But into this episode then, the likes of Williams, and looks like Haas, I think that is, upgrading with Force India and Ferrari staying put. Ferrari, you can't tell, but just about there. They're still the worst car on the grid after having a little shining moment of not being the last on the grid for like 2 episodes time, but then the rest of the grid all staying the same, apart from Toro Rosso, who make a bit of a leap towards McLaren and ourselves at Alfa, Romeo, Sauber. So watch how Toro Rosso go, Ocon and Van Dorn on those two blue and silver cars. We go into Q1 then, try and do the job, just get through into Q2. Hopefully not too much of an issue on these hyper soft tyres, and thankfully by the end of this session it's not myself and Leclerc in P11 and 12, so we're relatively equally matched. It looks like maybe the car, I don't know, at least in Q1 was feeling a bit slow compared to the rest of them. The Toro Rosso car is looking very good, so maybe like we've seen in the past with Toro Rosso and Force India, I feel every time those two teams in particular upgrade their car exponentially, they just improve on track for some reason compared to other teams like Mercedes, where they can upgrade as much as they want, but sometimes it doesn't really show on the track, just like it has been the case in the last few episodes. I'm still waiting for Mercedes to really start flexing their muscles and kind of being right up there, and that can help us out, because obviously if they are, 1-2 or 1-3 or whatever on the podium, they push down Gasly, push down me, and so the points gap is a little bit less to work with, and so we can't have these massive swings of momentum for the likes of Gasly, unfortunately for me, in the last couple episodes when he's got those few wins. But obviously we broke the streak last episode at the Singapore Grand Prix. Let's see if we can do it again in Q2. We're a little bit closer towards Gasly, and actually we outqualified Leclerc by quite some time, but he still makes it to Q3 with us, so both of us in the top 10 shootout. That's good to see. It gets a bit overcast in Q3 as apparently there's some rain forecast for right at the end of it, but hopefully we'll set the dry times before we get to that as we go through the last corner. Then a little bit wide there, completely missing the apex, but we still skate through into P4. It's now P7 by the time we start our second flying lap, but we gain a decent chunk of time so far on the lap. Verstappen ahead of us, Carlos Sainz behind us, so it looks like a few people have time to find here at this session. But as we go through then the last few corners, lock up on that very off-camber chicane before we go through to the last 2 corners. Hopefully not too much understeer compared to that first run. Nice and tight on the second last corner, and then the last corner, going a bit early on the brakes, really going over the curb on the apex. Across the line we do improve, and we're up into P4 there. Unable to catch Gasly though. Gasly, our championship rival, on pole position. Hamilton second. Fernando Alonso though in third place. Surprised me because the Renaults have not really been turning up so far in qualifying the last few, but us in P4, at least that's I think the best we could have hoped for there. It's pretty close actually at the top, so this might be quite a close race, here's hoping. But like I said, we have to have another one of Singapore basically. We have to try and somehow beat Gasly to try and stop him, because if he's on pole, he gets a win. He basically undoes all the good work we did at Singapore, and pretty much that race win goes out the window for us. So hopefully something can happen. Maybe Hamilton and Alonso can help us out as well. But let's go to the grid then and go to this race.
Good afternoon from Sochi as we prepare to get underway for the Russian Grand Prix. The championship battle has some time to go yet, but still expect no quarter to be given here on this circuit that made its debut in 2014 and has already seen some classic racing. Situated just 3 miles from the Georgian border, the 3.6 mile Sochi Autodrome has 2 notable overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and then turn 13. 18 corners in total here, 12 to the right and 6 to the left, and it's an average lap speed of around 130 miles per hour. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Now I want to ask you about Romain Grosjean. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand.
So with that, let's take a look at the starting grid ahead this Russian Grand Prix for Season 7 of my F1 2018 career mode. So on pole position is my championship rival Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull Honda, ever the man up at the front. Alongside him, Lewis Hamilton on the front row. Fernando Alonso in P3, myself in P4, Hulkenberg in P5 with Leclerc in P6. Verstappen a disappointing P7, Carlos Sainz down in P8, Ocon and Sergio Perez round out the top 10. Van Dorn and Vettel next just outside the top 10, Brendan Hartley, Valtteri Bottas next with Kimi Räikkönen and Kevin Magnussen P15 and 16. The two Williams on the next row, and then the last row taken up by two penalty takers of Daniel Ricciardo and Romain Grosjean in the McLaren, Renault and Haas F1. So, like I said, Russia is going to be a pretty straightforward strategy for us today. The one stop from Hypersoft to the Ultras. The Hypers won't go too far, but they're pretty consistent. The Ultra is very, very consistent. We won't even need to think about the third set of tyres available for this weekend. It's going to be overcast, but no rain, hopefully. And it's going to get sunnier as we go on through the race. Filling up on a bit of fuel, because this is quite a fuel-hungry circuit here. But we have one goal only, trying to overtake Gasly somehow in this Grand Prix. I don't know how, but we're going to try it. Here we go to 5 red lights to the Russian Grand Prix. 5 red lights are out and we're underway. It's a fantastic start there for Fernando Alonso in the Renault. Gasly slow into turn 1. It's 3 wide between Alonso, Hamilton and Gasly. The Renault, Merc and Red Bull Honda side by side into turn 1. We're being swamped by Hulkenberg and our teammate no less. Leclerc diving down the inside of turn 2. Gasly's been pushed wide and he's down the order. He's on our left hand side. We're up there, up the order in P4, neck and neck with Gasly. We're a little bit behind now. You have to have a good brake zone for the next corner. Dive down the inside of the right hand to force him out, and we've done it. We're up into P4. Gasly now. We've squeezed him out enough that he's actually now side by side with Carlos Sainz. And I think Sainz has done the job. Yes, he has done, it seems, on the top left there. And he is ahead of Gasly. So absolutely amazing stuff. So Hamilton is the one that leads the way, ahead of Fernando Alonso in second place. Leclerc with the third place. Fair play. Leclerc's been very slow in the last few episodes. You guys have even noticed that he's dropped off, you know. Usually Leclerc, you know, in the early stage of the season was right up there. But he has been a bit slow in recent episodes. But good for him. He made a massive dive in turn 1 and 2. And made it count, and so he's up in P3. I'm P4 though, ahead of Sainz, who is ahead of Gasly. So fantastic. That is amazing. He went from P1 down to what is now P6 in one lap there. That is literally the perfect lap 1 I could have hoped for here at Russia. So thank you very much, Fernando Alonso and Hamilton, for helping in that, because those two were the ones that squeezed out Gasly on the outside of turn 2. Now we focus on trying to catch up to our teammate Leclerc, who's doing a great job, to be fair, in P3, keeping Fernando Alonso honest there. As we move on to lap 4 though, he's getting away from us, and someone who's catching us is Carlos Sainz, the other Renault. And so instead of looking forward, I'm looking behind as Carlos Sainz sends one down the inside of turn 1 with DRS wide open there. Gasly not too far behind, but we get some slipstream off Carlos Sainz and have the guts to dive around the outside then, and he gives us the room. We force the room there a little bit with our elbows on the outside there, and so a place where I've actually crashed before in this career mode in turn 2. I think it was on a Sauber, I think, no less, in a previous seasons gone by, I think when I was in the Ferrari car. But we get the move done, and we're back up into P4 for now, but Sainz again is still right on the back of us, so the Spaniard really is trying to give it to me, and he's sent one down the inside. I couldn't really give any more there in that corner, otherwise I would have gone off the corner, and so I have to give that place up and have to try and stick with him as we go through the next right-hand, keeping the pressure on the Renault cars. We go into the next left. He's gone a little bit deep there. He's gone wide himself, and so he cut back to the inside there, and we're back up into P4. So effectively, we just did what Carlos Sainz did to me on that previous right-hander when he overtook me. So we're back up the order, but not for too long now as we move on to the next lap on that back straight here, and Sainz will be right up our chuff, I think, with DRS obviously available to him. We've got no DRS because Leclerc is well ahead by 1 second there, and so Sainz on the inside there, closing the DRS flap, and under the bridge we go, and he's up into P4, and once again I'm down to P5. But actually, look at that, behind me it's not Gasly anymore. Hulkenberg and the other Mercedes car has gone and overtaken Gasly, so that's fantastic. So even though I'm being pushed down by 1 place, Gasly also got pushed down by 1, and now we might regain the place as we have a bit of a deja vu pass there on the outside of turn 2. Back up into P4, and Gasly is still down in P7 now, as Hulkenberg is the one that comes through down the inside with a very tasty move in turn 3 on the Renault, and Hulkenberg is up the order into P5. Sainz had a bit of an issue there, I think, and he's now being forced wide. But meanwhile, now we move later on into that Grand Prix, that same lap, I think it's a major issue for the other Renault of Fernando Alonso. Engine failure, smoking engine, and Leclerc has now been elevated to P2. What a fantastic opening stint this has been for the young Monegascan there. Obviously, like I said, was struggling in the last few episodes, so fair play. He's up in P2 and he's doing a much better job at the moment compared to myself around Russia. I don't know, maybe he just feels a bit more comfortable on heavy fuel compared to me, and I felt comfier on lower fuel in qualifying. But now we've got more things to worry about because Hülkenberg and Gasly are side by side as we lock up with a bit of pressure into turn 2 on lap number 8. We're a few laps away from our pit stop here, but now Gasly is forcing the issue and goes down the inside of turn 3 and is up into P4 as we're in P3 of course, because we got gifted one position from Alonso retiring there, but Gasly now is the one chasing after us. He's right up our chuff as we move on later onto that lap there. He's going to have DRS. We're going to go defensive to the inside for the next right-hander. He goes on the outside there. Tiny bit of contact made as we are not too sure where he is on circuit, but he's on the outside. He's hung it to the inside now as we go on the bridge. Bit of drifting involved here as we go through the next long left-hander there. Very nice camera shot to see both our cars shaking away as we jostle for position, and we're really on the edge of grip. We just about squeeze him out though on that third last corner, and we're actually going to dive into the pit lane right now, lap 8, as my engineer asked me on that lap earlier, do I want to come in right now for an undercut? And I thought, because we're fighting Gasly and Hülkenberg so much, it might be very much worthwhile to come in for an undercut and try what we did at Singapore, basically getting some clean air, just run freely and try and get the hammer down, get that delta time as high as we can in terms of compared to Gasly. And if Gasly continues to fight Hülkenberg maybe on this next lap, then hopefully we can do exactly what we did in Singapore and come out a little bit further ahead and have a bit of a comfortable cushion. And obviously it's just then our job to do the best job we can from P3, hopefully, fingers crossed. That's the plan at least. So we come out now on ultras, very clean track ahead, still overcast, but there definitely isn't any rain forecast. At least my engineer hasn't said anything about that. It should be getting sunnier as we go on through the race. So we actually catch up now to not lapped cars, but slower cars that are out of sync of this Grand Prix for us and compared to our pit stop. So going down the inside of the Williams had a lot of issues for me in Singapore. Thankfully not so the case this time with Sorokin. He kind of makes it easy for me down the inside there. And so as you go across the line on lap 12, here we go now. Look at the top left, and there goes Gasly. Top left, he's behind me now, and there he is, just coming out the pit lane now ahead of Carlos Sainz. So we have maintained that position as we go towards turn 2 now. So it should be in a net race lead. Hamilton, second place Leclerc, myself still in third place. I'm not too sure where Hülkenberg is because he's continuing on for one more lap there. So the German wanting to really stretch his hypersoft stint as we now go down the inside of Grosjean there in the Haas. Bit of a screen freeze there, so I was a little bit wary. I could have really locked it up and got it badly in that brake zone, but thankfully we managed to just about pull it off there. And now here comes Hülkenberg finally out of the pit lane eventually on that next lap there, and he's actually quite a bit ahead of Gasly. So I've got some gap to Hülkenberg, and Hülkenberg's got a gap to Gasly, who's being chased after by Carlos Sainz. So right now, very, very good. Hamilton in the lead, Leclerc second place, myself third, Hülkenberg P4, Gasly P5, Sainz P6, and, you know, if we're lucky, maybe Sainz can try and catch Gasly and overtake him, push him down to P6. So we're in a very good position right now for the championship and just generally the race at the moment with a 2-3 for Alfa Romeo Sauber. That's going to be a very good race position if we can finish that way. But we move on later onto lap 13 then. So just doing the job we can. You can see the sun is coming out, but we've got some team radio coming up here.
Some information on Leclerc. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
So that's some devastating news for my teammate and the team in general. Leclerc with a mechanical issue, and so that means we actually catch him up very rapidly now on lap 16. DRS open. I've been able to actually run standard mixture up till now. Now I'm in rich mix, and we're going to sail past him on the right hand side. He's definitely got some issue because he's going very slow in a straight line, and it makes it very easy for me on this next right-hander. So it's such a shame because, to be fair, I was fully ready to finish behind Leclerc this race because he did an amazing job on lap 1 and that entire stint in general there. So it's really, really unfortunate, actually, quite gutting, because now he's in P3 having to defend against Hülkenberg, but it's only a matter of time before the German gets past Leclerc. There he goes on the outside. It's going to be a very easy pass, and there also is Gasly, Sainz and Verstappen like vultures closing in on their prey. Leclerc is defenseless pretty much, and he's going to get overtaken pretty damn soon. If not on this lap, then the next one is Gasly. He's right up his chuff. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe a dive down the inside here. No, not quite, but he has a look as Leclerc goes very defensive there. Gasly's going to have the DRS, so this should be a very easy pass and going to be taken like candy from a baby here as Gasly goes down the inside on the right there, and Leclerc is pretty much defenseless, even to Carlos Sainz maybe, as he might try to dive down the inside. Big lock up there from Leclerc and Gasly actually, but Gasly gets past. So it's now Hülkenberg in P3, Gasly P4, and Hülkenberg now has been released to try and close up to me on lap 18 with about 9 laps to go in this Grand Prix. There he goes down the inside there, powers past with DRS. That Mercedes car has got a brilliant engine on it once again. You know, in seasons gone by, that Mercedes car has been pretty weak, but this season after the upgrades, it's got a pretty monstrous engine. But I gotta say, I actually stick with Hulkenberg quite a fair bit, so I think it's one of those situations where I'm definitely a driver that goes faster when I have something to chase after, and so Hulkenberg overtaking me motivated me and was basically a yardstick to try and close up to. And so now we're on lap 22, setting a fastest lap of the Grand Prix whilst we do it, so we've got a lot of momentum here, found some pace in the ultra soft tyres, and also being the DRS is also helping us because our car just generally isn't that great in a straight line anymore compared to the cars around us, so the DRS helping quite a fair bit. And Hulkenberg goes very defensive into turn 2 and goes so slow mid-apex that I was very surprised to even make the pass. You saw there, I was very hesitant to go down the inside of him to turn 2 because I wasn't even sure that was going to be an overtaking opportunity, because that's a very weird place to, or weird way to overtake into turn 2. Usually go around the outside there, but I just kind of patiently waited in the brake zone and just swooped to the inside. And so now as we move on later in this Grand Prix, Gasly's the one that sends one to the inside there, and he can't quite make it, but Hulkenberg now is battling Gasly for P3, and I've got a chance to get away in P2 and try and solidify this second place here. Hamilton is completely nowhere near us. He's going to win the Grand Prix, but third place is now a fierce battle between Hulkenberg and Gasly. Again, Gasly goes for the move down the inside. This time, though, he might just get that. He's now on the outside for the next long left-hand, and he does do it. And so Gasly, my championship rivals, up into P3. So if it was to finish like this, we would only get 3 points on Gasly, 18 to 15. That's still 3 points better compared to him beating us. But now he locks up into turn 2 on the next lap, and Hulkenberg might just get a chance here. It'll be even better if Hulkenberg can overtake him and push him down one more place. And the likes of Verstappen and Carlos Sainz not too far behind as well. So if they can get stuck in as well, that'd be even more ideal for us for the championship. But Hulkenberg for now is back ahead in P3, Gasly back down to P4. But these guys literally have the best battle I've seen so far this season. I think probably the only better was that fight between Verstappen and Hamilton and the Belgian Grand Prix. But these guys are already going hammer and tong now, side by side once again through turns 2 and 3. Gasly up into P3 by about half a car's length there. Hulkenberg though comes back at him, so this fight just keeps on going on every single lap, just yo-yoing about Gasly or Hulkenberg, Gasly or Hulkenberg up in P3 or 4, vice versa. And so we move on later, and once again Hulkenberg is there for the taking down the inside to get Gasly once again up into P3. Literally, we've seen them swap now about 4 times now, and it's going to happen one last time on towards nearly the second last lap of the Grand Prix now. Gasly with the move, he goes for the fake, now goes to the right down the inside of turn 2, and Hulkenberg locks up there. He's been pressurized into a mistake there, and he's not only been overtaken by Gasly now, but he's been overtaken by Verstappen and just about maintains the position ahead of Carlos Sainz and the Toro Rosso car there. But it's now a 3-4 for Red Bull Honda. Gasly in P3, Verstappen P4. So that's unfortunate, you know, but still, we're going to beat Gasly at least in P2 compared to his P3. So Hamilton is going to end up winning this Grand Prix. Will come home in P2 though with Gasly P3, so we'll get 3 more points on him in the championship. That is a very good day in the office at the Russian Grand Prix.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
So Hamilton wins the Grand Prix, and for the first time really Mercedes looked properly dominant in that Grand Prix and actually used their kind of, you know, on paper performance from the performance chart. But for the championship then, we are now 3 points behind Pierre Gasly, so we're just chipping away. Got the win at Singapore, 7 points there. We got 3 points here, but just chipping away at it and doing the best job we can. And obviously Gasly had 2 wins on the trot. We broke the momentum at Singapore with a win, and then we beat him again here at Russia. We're doing the exact thing we need to be doing here and trying to just topple that kind of sense of dominance that Gasly has enjoyed this season quite a bit at the time. Constructors-wise, we're still maintaining the lead, which is great for myself and Leclerc and the Alfa Romeo Sauber team. Red Bull now get ahead of Renault, and Renault really fall off with Alonso's DNF there, so that's unfortunate for them. And so, ever more, I think I'm very confident, actually, that me and Leclerc are doing a very consistent job for the constructors, whereas you've got Verstappen and Red Bull, and both Renaults really falling off the edge there, so they're not doing their teams any favours. So I'm confident that we can take the constructors, I think, all the way, although it is very, very close with Red Bull, so we still have to keep our guard up there, and hopefully have more performances like Leclerc showed in the opening stint, and hopefully he doesn't get any mechanical failures after having a performance like that, because otherwise it would have been a 2-3 for Alfa Romeo Sauber this race. It wasn't for that, and we can try and see the constructors through. But in the championship, for us and the drivers, 3 points behind Gasly, and we've only got a finite amount of races left in this championship. championship is going to get ever closer and ever more tense every single time we go to a new episode here, guys. So if you have enjoyed this one, smash that like button. Let me know your thought in the comments below. If you are new around here, you can subscribe for weekly Formula content. I've been Alpha. Hope you enjoy your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.